Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today I have my co-host, Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yeah, hi, everyone.
You do know that you're on the show, because last night you forgot that you were on, right, Kelly?
Yeah.
When you're ordering t-shirts, you
This is important that you know that. And you don't forget that.
Yeah.
Okay, and my other co-host is Barbara Moore. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm here.
Hi.
Okay. Now, our guest today is Pardis Pardrow. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
It's all good. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I was talking to Barbara, and I like to get feedback from my co-hosts about guests to have on and back. And Barbara and I were just talking, and she said, well, who would you like to have back on? And she immediately mentioned you. And Barbara, why don't you just revisit that conversation? What was it that we should have her back on?
Well, because I have been on the show for a few months, and I'm reaching to get to my 100th show soon. So when the first person who popped into my mind that I wanted was Pardis. I remember her so well because she touched upon something that I'm so interested in, and she is an angel expert. And I have been desperately trying to find my spirit guides. And I know they're there. I know I have them. I just don't know how to tap into them. So on the show that she came on and she was talking about all of this, back then I wasn't really knowing anything about that, and I wasn't really wanting that. But after being on the show for like 3 months now, or 4, I'm thinking, I've heard so much about spirit guides. I'm telling you, I have heard it so much, obviously. And everybody, like Kelly and Taryn, and they're all using their spirit guides, but I'm not using my spirit guides. So I want to know how, and I want to find out, A, who are they, and B, how do I tap into them? And she knows how. That's why.
Okay, maybe Pardis, you can tell Barbara how to do that. How do you do that, Barbara? I mean, Pardis.
Well,
yeah, how do you do that?
There are several ways, and there are many ways that a person can get in touch with a guide. The standard way, before I talk about the way that I do it with my clients, the standard way is just going into a regular meditation and opening yourself up energetically, maybe even scanning your body for your chakras and anticipating that and envisioning that they're opening up, and then invite them and ask them to come and make themselves present. But that doesn't always happen for people. There are also other ways, and before I get into that, there are also other standard ways that people can feel a sign from their guide, one of which is they might see feathers, they might see coins, they might see numbers consistently. They might see a specific animal, like a bird or even butterflies. But that also can translate into a loved one who's crossed over. So not everybody can distinguish what this energy and who this energy is that's coming to them, or where these signs are coming from. So one of the things that I started out doing early in my career is I started doing past life regression work. And in the past life regression work, I ended up basically being trained by a woman who also trained me in angel therapy. And when she did it, she said, okay, you know what? Have the participant, your client, envision an angel with them, a guide. And I thought, oh, this is great. They're going to, feel safe and secure when they go on their travels in a past life. Well, one day, one of my clients, who was quite linear and educated, she was a lawyer, and she was laying on my table, and she said to me, oh yeah, I feel my guide, as I guided her in the past life regression. And I was like, oh, okay. And, sometimes the client would get a sense of a guide's mean, perhaps. And this one client said, oh, my guide, he's saying his name is John. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she said, he wants to talk to you. And I'm like, hi. And she's like, yeah. And I'm going, okay, I know this woman is not nuts. And I guess when she's saying this, I should just go along with it and see what happens. So now, because this is her guide, she's the one who can feel him and see him with more fortitude and strength. But I did feel there was an energy around, but I really didn't know what to make of it. Because, again, I have a background as a lawyer for 10 years. Before that, I was an auditor. I was an economics major. I have a diploma from Columbia University. My first job out of law school after being an economics major was working for the Federal Reserve. So I still, even though I was started to get into this work, I was always like, with one eye shut, is this really happening? So the guide then was telling my client things that she had no way of knowing. So, for instance, the guide was saying things like, well, when your dog is barking a lot, have you thought about picking him up? And I was like, oh, my God, my client doesn't even know about my dog, doesn't know that he barks a lot. This is weird. The guide even said something even more personal, but without outing me, which was quite discreet, and says, in your relationship, we know that you blame him, but there are things that you do too, and you know what they are. So think about that. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And then it got even more personal. And the guide said, and by the way, when you pray, because I had learned early in my career that in order to make sure that my energy stayed my own energy and I didn't pick up energy from other clients, and I made sure that I was basically working on a very high vibration, I learned that doing prayer work was really essential for my well-being. And it didn't have to be religious. It could be non-denominational. It could be just secular prayer work. So the guide said, and when you pray, you're not praying with intention, and you're praying way too fast. And I was like, whoa, because the guide outed me and was saying basically that you're just going through the motions. There's no way my client would have known that. And she wasn't psychic, right? So I was like, wait a minute. So then I started to say, okay, you know what? Now that John is here and it's basically established that he's really legit on some level, why don't we have John answer some questions about your life, I said to the client. And what I found out in that moment is that if we were to take advantage of the presence of this energy and start asking questions, my client was going to be able to find out about a move that she was making, if it was in the right decision. She was also going to get clarity in a way beyond that what I could even convey to her, because she was going to feel it in her body, what she should do about a relationship, right? So what I started to see and feel and realize is that if I could set the stage for somebody to connect to a guide, all the stuff that I'd be telling people somehow could actually resonate on a much more deeper level than it would for any conversation that I could have with them. Because in these moments when people are laying down and they are receiving sensations and insight and information about their guides, they're either seeing it, feeling it, knowing it, and it's just becoming so real for them.
Wow.
So I started to realize that there was something, I had to do more of this work, and that's how it started.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barbara, does that answer your questions? Or
Well, during this time that she was explaining this, I was envisioning myself with her, laying down, and then I thought, well, why don't I just lay down right now? I mean, the more I can be in tune, even just talking to you, maybe it will happen to me. But I have a question. Say, well, this client, are they really far along spiritually? They're very open, or could they just be like a person off the street who's never heard of it and able to feel their hear it, know it?
That's a really great question. And I have found that people who meditate and people who do yoga, where at the end of yoga there's some shavasana, which is a type of sort of beginnings of a meditation, right? Usually those people tend to have a lot more ease with it on an automatic basis. However, there are people that without even doing yoga or meditating, they have the propensity to connect. But what the key is, I found, is the ability to relax. The more that you're able to relax and surrender and receive, the better it is, the much better it is. And and I have to tell you, I've even told some people that you need to allow the information to come to you. It's very intimate, and I don't want to sound crass, but I've told people sometimes it's like sex. Like you just can't think too much about it. You can't hyperanalyze it about it. You need to just surrender and allow things to happen, and then it can happen. But
how much?
Yeah,
I was going to ask you, how much information can you get from your guides? Can they tell you the future, or are they just there to guide you the right way or the path? Or
they can tell you. They can tell you so much about your life. They can tell you a possibility of a future, because I have seen in the work that I do when I do readings, it doesn't matter. There are times where a future can change. You can actually change your future, but they can tell you the propensity of a future because there's free will, right? So I remember like 15 years ago when I went to a reader, she told me that I was going to be a healer. I didn't believe it. And it wasn't until 5 years after that I went and I saw another healer, then another healer, for various reasons, and it's a whole other story, that I started to be open to the possibility and considered it. But there was a possibility, too, that I could have just blocked it all out and gone on my merry way. So we can change it, I believe. But the bottom line is that they can tell you things like, what direction in your life you want to go in. They can also give you advice as to why something happened. I actually had a client who very unfortunately was abducted at a young age. She was impregnated by her abductor. She had to have a miscarriage, but he wouldn't let her have it till later in the pregnancy. It was very traumatic for her. And then she was able to escape. And then she connected with an ex and then became pregnant again with another child and decided to keep it. So what she was shown and explained was that actually there was a blessing, believe it or not, in the tragedy that she experienced and having to terminate her first pregnancy, because it was through that trauma that she'd experienced that guaranteed emotionally that she was going to keep the second pregnancy, and that she was meant to keep the second pregnancy because the child of the second pregnancy was a gift to show her unconditional love. So sometimes people can find out about the reasons that there's trauma.
That makes total sense to me.
Question.
That really does.
I noticed that I just wanted to let you know if we have. Are you did that answer your questions, Barbara? Or?
Actually, I just one little small question more. Well, not a question, a statement, a thought about what you just said. Everything. I'm thinking if they are your guides and you listen to them, then I think the main reason to have them is to guide you so you can change your future, so you can make steps to do the right thing and make the most of your life, right? I mean, that's how I see it. That's what, that's why I want them.
I mean, I've done this in group settings, like I've shared earlier, and in group settings, what I find is that people can sometimes not be ready yet. They may need to clear some blockages from past lives. They may need healing. And in that situation, I recommend that they come to me on a one-on-one session. And then, and at that point, we will go through the body and clear blockages that are tied to past lives. And that's another experience. But generally what happens is once you're able to connect, I've had clients who have, in a group setting, actually, I did it in Tulum, and I had one young man, he was able to see his mother who passed away. I had another woman who was from England. She looked, like she was British. She was light-skinned, stereotypical British, light-skinned, blonde, blue-eyed. And she said to me that she felt the presence of a gentleman who was a family member, but he said his name was Julio. And I said to her, oh, okay, you know what? You have, and I felt this intuitively, I said, oh, on your father's side, you're Mexican, aren't you? And she said, yes. And I said, that was your great-great-great-grandfather who came. And she said, I felt him put his hand on my upper back, and he let me know that I'm going to be okay, because she said that she came to Tulum alone without her nuclear family that she created because she'd been going through a hard time. And she had also discovered that in that moment when he was connecting with her, she heard the laughter of children. And then she knew that twins that she had miscarried were with him and were okay. So sometimes people can also experience healing from experiences as well in these sessions.
That's
in addition,
wonderful.
Yeah. In addition, there was a young girl who came with her mother. She was a teenager. And I have to tell you, I don't know if I would have been so gung-ho with her being there, because she was under the age of 21, but she was with her mom. And she said that she saw a young girl who was like her. And that young girl said, I have always been with you, and I will always be with you. And she could feel her hand on her lower back. And
wow.
I was so happy that young woman had that experience, that young girl, because I feel like that planted the seed for her to know that she's not alone. And that alone can be so powerful for people. And then I've done it where in a group setting too, where one young woman was like, you know what? I don't know if I should go to Chile first or Argentina, where I'm from, but I'm living now in Tulum. Well, wouldn't you know it? Her grandmother came, and her grandmother said, okay, this is the order you're going to travel. And then her grandmother even took her to her hometown and showed her her future son, of what he was going to look like and be like.
Oh, wow.
Which was amazing. So there's so many amazing things and beautiful things that can happen in these sessions when people connect with their guides. But there's also opportunities too, if you do like a one-on-one thing, where if you have blockages and you're not able to do it in a group setting, where we then can go clear possible past lives and learn about past lives before you connect to the guide.
Oh, I would think that would be an amazing experience to have a one-on-one and just really focus and really know. Because the person who, if they aren't sure of what's going on, you're there for them right there you're like a secondary guide guiding them through meeting their guide. I mean, this is really interesting to me. So, wow. I'm wondering if we have callers that have questions, because this is like, I want to hear some other people's questions.
We do. We have a caller.
We do?
Are you okay with me putting on a caller? Yeah.
Do you want to have a caller?
You're talking to me?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, caller, you're on the air.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much. Been enjoying this, and I would love to know who my guides are and how to connect with them. My angels too, but I think I know my main angel. But I've been really wanting to be able to communicate with my guides.
And great. So one of the things that I recommend is to go in meditation, because if you don't have the opportunity to connect on a, one-on-one basis with someone like myself, or even go to a group event, which I do at yoga studios, and I've done for Soho House in different locations, such as, Los Angeles and Miami and New York. Then what I always recommend to people is to go within and meditate, and don't give up, because it may not happen right away.
I've been meditating for while, but nothing seems to come to me.
So then the next thing that I would do then is I would tap into your body when you're meditating and check and see if there's any tension. Check and see if there is any tingling, and ask yourself if it's from this lifetime or a past life, and then take it from there, because sometimes you might have a blockage that needs to be cleared, or you might need more information about your soul's journey before you're able to make that connection. And what I also recommend is working with crystals. I actually have people, when they lay down, oftentimes have crystals with them, which could then help tremendously in the relaxation process. The other thing that you may want to do is to literally set the intention and even say to yourself, I want you to come. I'm asking for you to come. Please come. And see what happens.
Would you be able to point me in the direction to tell me who my main guide is, who my guides are, or any messages?
You know, I have to be honest with you. Sometimes I am able to do that, and it's like boom, 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 and sometimes I'm not. What is your first name? Let me see if it will come to me. And I'm very honest. I don't like if it's gonna happen, it'll happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What is your name?
Name I've been using, Casey.
How do you spell that? The phone broke up.
Kasey.
Kasey.
But I often use that.
Okay, so it's interesting because what I get is almost stereotypical for you as a guide. I see a gentleman that's like a monk. I see him wearing like a brown robe, and he has, you know how when you see people, they put their hands together, one inside the opposite sleeve. I'm going to see what nationality he is.
Thank you.
I feel like he's from Tibet. And he's also, I have to tell you, he's quite handsome. And I also feel like he's studied martial arts. And he's telling me to tell you, and by the way, the name is like a TH. It's like he's telling me the name is long and complicated, but he's saying that you can call him Theo, like THEO. But that's not his full name. Sometimes when you go into meditation, you can ask them to basically spell in your head so you can see the letters or you can hear it, what their name is. But what he's telling me to tell you is that movement is very important for you. He's giving me the feeling that you've become, that you used to be very active, but you've become more sedentary recently. Does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah. Yes. I'm not sure if he means phases in my life or very recently, but yeah, I lost my boyfriend, my partner of many, many years, and we lived together, and he passed a couple months ago. I'm still in deep grief. I'm sorry to hear that. Been very extra sedentary and depressed over that, if that's what he's referring to.
He's just telling me that it's very important that you go outside. Like, you need fresh air more often, and he's even saying that it's important that you push yourself to get up in the morning and play music that you like and move around. Shimmy your butt a little bit. I don't know. I hear the song by James Brown, I Feel Good. It's like you need to play music like that that will get
Uh-huh.
you to move and shake and feel yourself in your body to raise your vibration, because he's giving me the feeling you're not thinking straight. You're not seeing straight. It's one thing that you're down, but you're not, it's like you're not doing the things that you used to do for yourself. Is that true?
Yeah, probably. I've kind of sunk into a rut the past couple of weeks, especially.
Yeah. Well, energetically, astrologically, it's been hard for a lot of people. Not to diminish the grief that you're going through, but to let you know that you're not alone. And if indeed you've noticed a shift in just the past few weeks, that there have been a lot of people going through it. But he's telling me you're a very attractive woman, and that like you want to go out and celebrate the life that you have as much as you can, because you also have I'm being told you have a very good personality. And are you someone who you just talk to anyone? Like, I feel like even when you go to the cash register, you could just say something. And he's also giving me the feeling like you have very good energy, that you have a way of making people feel good just being around you. And that's something that you don't want to forget about yourself. And that, he's also telling me that your loved one, your partner, would be really not happy to see you like this. Is that true? Whenever if he were to, would he kind of scold you? Like, come on now. Is that something you think he would say?
No.
I don't know why, but I feel like your partner would want to see you not be in this place and to see you go out. And I mean, scold is a strong word, but I think he would try to get you to go out. And I just can't help but feel that it's in your best interest to try to get moving and to socialize more, so that you can release some more of this grief.
That helps. You know what is so weird, if I could interject something on that? Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. I felt like you were actually describing me, but not all the time, and I haven't gone through grief recently, but I felt so down today. I felt like, oh, my gosh, like bored. Not down, but bored. And I have so much to do, believe me. But I was just like, God, how could I get, like, some energy or some stimulation? And I did what you just said. I took a quick walk around outside, and then I came back in. I turned on some peppy music like that, and I couldn't help it. I started shaking. I started getting more in tune with my body. Then before you knew it, I cleared an area, and I got my weights out, and I started lifting weights. Oh, my gosh, did that ever ignite me? And sometimes you just need that. You need to ignite your body, right, and get it going.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think the important thing, too, for Casey to know is, and thank you for sharing that, Barbara, because I think that was a confirmation for what I shared. But I feel like, Casey, you need to know that you're not alone, and that your loved one is still with you in spirit, and that you will see him again. Yet in the meantime, it's important that you embrace the life that you have and put yourself in a place where your vibration is as high as possible, so the depression doesn't consume you. It is normal to be grieving and feeling this and going through different stages, but I just keep on being told to tell you you're not alone. You're not alone. And hopefully you'll be able to go into meditation and connect with Theo on your own. So I wish you best. And I hope that you feel better.
Could I
from this?
Answer all your questions?
Theo with a TH or a CH?
TH. THEO. Yeah.
And I hope that you know that you're part of the community with us. So please look us up and let us know how you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to say there are times I feel like I'm communicating with my partner, and I would like to feel like I'm really channeling him, but I don't know if it's my imagination or it's happening.
No, I'm being told that you
Okay.
are feeling it, and it's really there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, let me ask you this: was he, it's a tricky thing sometimes when you have a couple people on the phone or in a space, because sometimes the loved one might be for someone else. But was this gentleman at all someone who rode a motorcycle?
Who wrote? I'm sorry.
A motorcycle at all?
Oh, in his younger days, yes, he did.
Yeah. Because I feel like I see a motorcycle. I see like kind of like a burly guy, like a man's man. And I also see like a muscle T-shirt, and I see like a bandana in his head. And I feel like he was handsome, and it's like I feel him. He's like, it's almost as if he had massive. It's funny. He's like, he's giving me the feeling he had magnetism, and he had massive sex appeal.
It sounds good.
Yeah, and he wants you to. This is the message that I'm getting to tell you, that you are communicating with him. He is with you, but he's saying that you actually are very gifted. You're very intuitive, and he's saying that it was his time to go, but your journey has just begun. Because if you actually work more on your gift, you have the propensity and the capacity to help others as well. And he's saying that with him being gone, once you allow this grieving process to work its way through, and meditation will help quicken this, he's saying that you have your own journey, which actually will be easier with his help on the other side than if he were by your side to help others. And he's saying you've always had like witchy ways, like you've always known things. Is that true?
Here and there, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's saying that you're very intuitive, and that if you took more time to self-care and work on yourself and your gifts, you could find a new journey for yourself moving forward, which he could work with you on the other side to help with that.
Okay.
And actually, that's something that happens very often to people once they lose a loved one on the other side. Their own gifts start to blossom, and then they start finding themselves getting into mediumship work.
Wow.
I was just asking, ma'am, does that answer all your questions?
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice
Thank you
day.
for calling.
Yeah, thanks
Now,
for calling.
I want to get back to Barbara a little bit. Now, you also said that you were a medium. Is that correct?
You mean pardis? Yes, I am a medium as well. Yeah. So
Okay.
just now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned this before on the show, so I I don't think she's gonna get mad if I bring this up, but like Kelly had a miscarriage, and the show has kind of helped her get over that. But what would your stance be on Kelly's miscarriage? And I believe Kelly, didn't you say Kelly lost her mom like a few years ago, and I was wondering what your opinions on those things would be.
What specifically do you want do you want me to tell you about Kelly's situation? And
Look, I mean, I
just
guess
want
I
to
was
be
hoping
clear
that maybe Kelly might want to know something about that. I mean, am I right, Kelly?
Well, you brought up Barbara, and then you brought up me, so what are you asking, Johnny?
Either one of you. I mean, like I was just thinking if either one of you had anything like of a mediumship nature that you might want to know about.
Oh, so it's very interesting.
Well,
so when
I'll think about it.
So
give you both a chance to kind of jump in.
Yeah, I just say this. I don't, Kelly. Maybe you can tell me this, but I don't know why. But once you start talking about what she had gone through. I just heard in my head, it's not the time and place. That's all I heard. So I don't
all right.
I don't know how you feel about that,
That's
Kelly,
fine.
but it was like, it just came in like, not doing that. But Kelly,
I apologize, Kelly. I apologize.
But Kelly, if you do want it, then please express that, and then I will check again. But
my
even
apologies.
though I know Jonathan,
My apologies.
I know
Kelly.
that Jonathan's coming from a wonderful place, and I know he has nothing but good intentions. But that was what just came in right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not expecting it. That's probably why it came that way. But I think what I have more like of a question of is, I get information and I get it like, I don't know exactly who my spirit guides are. I just know that I get information, but I don't know who or what it's coming from. I just, attribute it to being, from God or source or whatever name people want to pin it to. But do you have like a more clear, like your spirit guide's name is so and so, or how many I have?
So I'm going to say this. I don't traditionally do that. But I'll tell you, I just hear off the top of my head that you have 6 guides, but at times there are 2 others that come in. You actually have, that's a larger number of guides. The reason you have more guides is because you are supposed to help people. And I feel like you do help people with this show, but I also feel like you have an energy, it's like a good Samaritan kind of energy, and you just help people in general. But in terms of the specific guides, I see a female, has beautiful long hair, very ethereal. It's almost like reddish hair. She feels Celtic. I'm hearing the name Jessica. She's like wearing green. And she's saying that she's been with you for many, many, many lifetimes. She's also saying that you have gifts that you haven't tapped into yet because you've actually done mystical, occult-like work in more than one past life. But she's saying she's not going to say anything more because she's saying that it's time for you to do more of the work on your own. And she's saying that I feel like there's a little bit of, correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the impression and the feeling that there's a part of you that resists doing your own soul work. And soul work, I always recommend people to do every day, and that is anything along the lines of, and I usually tell people to do a couple of these things, which is meditation, prayer work, non-denominational is perfectly fine. I always recommend a book called Illuminata by Marianne Williamson. This is something that I always recommended before she started running for president. That her work is quite amazing. She also has another book that I recommend, which is A Year of Miracles. It's daily devotions and reflections. The other thing I recommend people to do is also journaling and affirmations. And I recommend people do that interchangeably, and sometimes even, pulling some oracle cards for yourself, just going within and seeing what the universe will bring you and seeing what spirit can bring you. But what I'm being advised to tell you is that there's a great opportunity for you to find out more about your own gifts and your own capacities in the event that you create more structure and time to do soul work for yourself. And I'm also being told, this can be applicable to anyone, but for you in particular, I'm being told it will give you a profound sense of peace. It's going to give you a lot of peace. Do you happen to drink coffee?
I stopped doing that.
Okay, good. Because what I'm being shown is that the coffee would make you would give you like almost like anxiety or something. Like it would make you really anxious.
Yeah.
It didn't work well for you. And actually, I can tell you, I can't touch caffeine. It's not like good for me. It makes me cranky. But nevertheless, so you're not the only one, that has issues with caffeine. But you have a high vibration actually, and when you have a high vibration, and when you are of that nature, usually caffeine is like overdoing it. So you don't need it, but you want to take advantage of your energy field that you have, and try to redirect it towards soul work, because otherwise you can possibly have the propensity to get nervous or uncomfortable about things. And that's only because you're sensitive and you're just picking up on other people's stuff and other and energies in the air and so forth. So that's just something to think about. I hope you found that helpful, Kelly.
Oh, I certainly did. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
That
Okay.
wow. That was very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, is it okay if we take a caller?
Sure.
Okay. This is Lori. She's on the air. Area code 407. You there, Lori?
I'm right here.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Pardis. Nice to meet you, and I
nice
appreciate.
To meet you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate what you said about caffeine. That was something that I wasn't questioning, but it makes more sense to me now. I am very sensitive, I guess. And the reason for my call or my inquiry is I'm very in tune with the assistance of the archangels.
Mm-hmm.
I contact them every day, and I ask them for things to give me green lights, to bless and protect mine and my husband's steps, give them the permission. But I don't get any communication. I get all the help that I need, but I don't get any communication back. So I was wondering if that is because there's a blockage, or because I do meditate and I do talk sincerely and I do ask specifically. So I don't know.
So tell me your name one more time. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just because I am getting information already. What is your name again?
Lori.
Lori. Okay. So Lori, I just keep on being shown and being told that it's really important that you write. That you could actually get information through writing, and it would also give you peace and insight. Are you? This is everything I'm being told. Sarah. Let me see. I'm sorry, my mischievous son just opened the door, came in with his Halloween costume that came in the mail today. And,
I start early, I know.
And then ran out without shutting the door, and I was like, okay, I have to go take care of it. So, Lori, I'm being told to don't stress that you're not getting bells and whistles. If you're getting the help that you need, then that should be sufficient. But if you want more, I don't feel like you're blocked. Would it be great for you to learn about a past life or two? Absolutely. Why is it that she's not feeling more? Are you asking to feel more? Have you asked? Or are you just realizing today you're like, okay, you know what? I could ask for more.
No, I'm already writing. I've been writing consistently for like the last 12 years. Been publishing the last 8. So I do know about the writing connection. I already do know
confirmation.
Mm-hmm. But I'm very clear and very competent enough to say, I give you authority, I give you permission, and I would like to hear the assistance. I'm in a very, very direct. And also, I've noticed that whenever I speak, sometimes I get either a Scottish or an Irish accent that just comes from out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds to me as if you're channeling and you're able to connect. But I have to tell you something. There's a distinction between you saying, I give you permission versus I really want to feel you and please give me a sign in my body or please give me a sign that I can see or something. Because what I keep on hearing is that you're not really, really asking for it. And I would be open to that. And even so, I would even recommend trying to connect also with your own personal guides and see if they'll come through before the archangels. Because I have to tell you that from my experience, the archangels will come in, but more readily they will come. I've just seen them come in more often in a healing session than on their own with people. That's just what I've seen. I can't say that that's like the way that it is. I know that Archangel Michael shows up a lot, and he shows up a lot in healing spaces quite often because there's energies that sometimes need to be removed. As a matter of fact, with that, I'm being told, why don't you just start with Archangel Michael specifically and ask for him to come, because he tends to come more often. And see if you notice colors in meditation when you ask, and see if you can ask him to make himself present and aware in a certain part of your body. So sometimes with archangels, I've noticed, instead of presenting themselves like the way that I described Kelly's guide that I saw, instead what will happen is a person will feel like a warmth on one side of their body, or they'll feel a tingling, because not only do I do these personal guide group meditations, but I do archangel group meditations as well. And what I'll do is I'll bring in Uriel, Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel, and then sometimes I'll even bring in Raguel for relationships, and then I'll even open it up to another guide that's personal to the person in the room, in the group of the room, for themselves. And quite often in those settings, people will say, oh, well, you know what? I felt Uriel, for instance, in front of me, or I felt warmth on my right side, and that was when you were bringing in Michael, or on my left, I felt like a coolness. So you may want to allow yourself to be open to maybe temperature changes and sometimes even seeing colors. People will sometimes see different colors with the archangels. And then I would take it from there. And please, you can find me on Instagram at Medium Psychic Healer Pardis, P-A-R as in Robert, D as in David, I as in Igloo, S as in Sam. You can find me there and message me, and you can keep me posted on how your progress is going. I'd love to hear more.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you. Thank you for unlocking, let's say, opening a different way of approaching it. Do you see any spirit guides of mine? Anybody that is new?
Let me ask. So, Lori, does she, when your spirit guides want to come over? I have to say this. Gina, let me ask you this as a side note. Are you living in a very old home by any chance?
No, not the home, but the land that it's on is very old. The house is from the late 80s.
Okay. Do you sage your home regularly?
No, I don't.
Okay. I do sense that you're a very spiritual person, but what I do feel is that it's like there's stagnant energy in your home, and some of that energy isn't yours. And I feel also that you could possibly go through some of your things and start clearing some things out that you maybe don't need anymore. Because I feel like there's a lot of energy around you that's not yours, and it's interesting. That could be, now that I'm tapping in, that could be blocking you, but it's not like you're blocked. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Yes, crystal clear.
Yeah. So because I feel like you have things that you maybe have held on to for some time that you may want to let go of. Because I do feel an energy, but I don't feel like I feel like it's just an energy that you could clear with sage, and even just clearing your space a little bit more. That I think that's what you need to hear today. That's the message for today for you.
Perfect. Makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're welcome.
Lori, does that answer all your questions?
And more, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
My pleasure.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lori. It's usual. It's
Thank
great.
you.
I want to ask you now. You said that you can name people what their spirit guides are.
Did you say that again? I didn't hear that exactly. You said that
Did
you were asking me if I
do. Name, like identify what their spirit guides are.
You mean their name? I mean, it varies. It varies. But, I have to tell you this. I really love giving people the opportunity to connect for themselves, because I could be, honestly, I could be making this up. It's like, I know I'm not. And, and I know I'm feeling what I'm feeling, but if a person can feel and sense it for themselves, that's even more powerful. And it's even more empowering, because then people aren't turning to me like I'm some kind of special something or a guru or like dependent on me or they need me. It's like my job, I feel, is to facilitate people to access their own gifts and to help them make connections for themselves. And
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot, because that's what I want to do, actually. Because I could easily ask you right now, like everybody else, but you know what? I'm going to try to do this myself, and then I can reconnect with you later, and then you can give me some confirmation. Could you do that?
I can try. Yeah, I can definitely do it.
Like when we have you back on, because I want to try to do some of this work myself. Because today, I was feeling different today. Like I said, I exercised and then I turned on music just to uplift my spirits. But I also, after I did that, I laid down, and because I had all of these things just coming in and out of my head, just like non-stop, like I have to do this, I have to do that, I'm worried about this, what about this, like we all have. And that is why it's so important to lay down and try to empty all of that out. And it makes so much sense what you're saying. The first thing that people need to do is relax and meditate and do yoga and do those types of things, because there's no way we can connect if we have all those things going in and out of our brain, like packing all day, like our normal life gives everybody. So it is so important. And, it's hard just to call in and you're not in that state of mind of like the meditation. Maybe they had meditated right before they called you, but I want to be able to take the time to do that and try to do this the right way and the right steps that you described.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, on a practical level, like, what if you need to make a decision and it's like, I don't know, 12 o'clock at night, and you still, you realize, oh my gosh, I have to make a decision on something tomorrow. You may not be able to call me or another reader or someone else. You're going to have to figure it on your own, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, why not create the connection and the lifeline and the life preserver and the resource for yourself, right?
Exactly.
And that's where the magic is. And that's what I really love to do. I like to be able to set the stage for people to do that for themselves, because it's
that's what we're doing too. We do that too,
and the other
right, Pardis? On this show, we show people how to do it, teach them so they can do it for themselves, which I love helping people and doing that for them. So thank you.
You're welcome. And the one other thing I want to say about this that's really magical about doing this kind of work too is that oftentimes after people have an experience like a Connect to a Guide session, and they're able to connect and they're able to hear and feel things and get answers, well, guess what? Then their intuition amplifies. And then they're able to feel and see so much more aside from connecting with the guide, but just being able to get a sense of whether that person that's, reached out to them to ask them a favor is really a good person or not. It's like it can give you information as to whether or not you should pursue, and, you'll figure it out just throughout the day walking around like, you know what, that opportunity doesn't really feel good to me. So your own abilities to access what's best for you becomes even more amplified, separate and apart from those moments where you may sit down in meditation and connect to a guide.
Right. So would this be considered listening to your higher self? Is that listening to your guides? Is that one and the same, or just going along with it?
I feel like they're different. So there's a part of your soul, yourself, that's like the higher self, and that's the part of you without the ego, because the ego is a part of us that makes us feel like we're less than or better than others. And that's the part of us that has lived many, many lifetimes and has had many, many journeys and actually know what's better, knows what's the right thing to do and what's better for us. But there's also a belief that I have from the work that I've seen is that not almost, everyone has at least one guardian angel, has one guide that's there to help them and give them extra support and nurturance and guidance. And if you connect with your guide, then you're going to become even more connected to your higher self. That's for sure. There's another benefit.
Pardis, can you tell me who my spirit guides are?
He doesn't want to do the work himself.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, to be honest, I don't have as much experience.
Do you meditate, Jonathan? I don't want to call you out.
Well, what I do is I lay in bed and I meditate. But I mean, it's you got to understand, I'm not as experienced in this stuff as the other two. I just listen in more. If you listen to the shows, I'm usually not the one to ask these questions. I just let other people do.
Well, you know what I'm being told is Jonathan, you have really great gut instincts. That's what I'm being told, especially when it comes to working with people. You're really, and I actually think you're a pretty good judge of character. That's what I'm being told. Okay, I'm being told to give you a homework assignment before because this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing not today, Pardis. He needs to try to meditate 10 minutes a day. So how about
we try to encourage him?
Yeah,
we do. Right, Kelly?
You know what? I'm going to send you, Jonathan. I'm going to send you a playlist that I have that I've created on Spotify that I share with clients, and I'm going to share it with you. Now, this playlist, because, traditionally with traditional, there's different forms of meditation, but traditional, it's just, focusing on your breath, letting thoughts float in and out, but then go back to the breath and no music, right? But what I have found out is that for people who have difficulty meditating, I know that there are some Tibetan monks who are like going, oh, no. But I have found that when people listen to soothing music, it can help them a lot. And so on this playlist that I have the first song is an upbeat song, and it's the song that I allow all my thoughts to come through. And it's a good couple of minutes. And then once I let that song pass, then the music changes and it becomes a much more meditative type of track. Then I'm able to go deeper and focus more on my breath and relax. And what I recommend for people to do is to listen to the first 2 to 3 songs and try to focus on the breath and even counting on the breath on an inhale on 5 seconds, hold for 2, and then exhale out as if you're fogging up a mirror. It's also known as Ujjayi breath in yoga, Ashtanga yoga. So your throat is a little more tense. And you do that. You exhale for longer than the inhale, and that would be 7 seconds. And you focus on that breath for at least the first 2 songs, and don't beat yourself up for any thoughts that come through. Just let them come through, but then be mindful of going back to the breath. And that will be a really great foundation to start a meditation practice. And what I found is sometimes over time, people don't need the music anymore. But you know, we're in contact, so I'll text you the playlist and give it a try. And then after you do that, after you try that, then I don't know. I'm being told then we can talk again about things. Okay.
All right.
That means we'll bring you back again.
I would love that.
Okay, we will do that. Do you want to take another caller?
Sure. I'll take another caller.
Okay, area code 585. You're on the air.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jeannie.
Janine or Jeannie? Jean, you said?
Information on my spirit guide, my guardian angel, whenever you can tell me.
You know, I can't hear you very well. It's kind of mumbly. What is your name again? I'm sorry, I didn't make that out very well.
My name is Jean.
Jean. Okay, great. And your question is?
Who's my guardian angel, or my spirit guide? And what's a good point for me to make contact with them?
Well, you know, it's interesting with you. I'm being told that you may try writing. Meditation is definitely something that I recommend people to do. Like I just shared with Jonathan, listening to soothing music and giving yourself permission to let your thoughts flow. But another way to do it, and I don't know why I'm being told to tell you this, but maybe it's because I'm supposed to also be speaking to others who are listening. You could also just light a candle, get yourself relaxed, maybe do a couple of breaths, and then write questions and write down how many guides do I have, and then take a deep breath and then write the first thing that comes, and then ask another question. What are their names? You take another few deep breaths, and then you write whatever comes up right away before you even think it, and just trust whatever comes through to you. So that's another way of accessing information as well. And that's something that you could definitely do on your own time. And then you could even ask questions like, you know, do I know you from a past life? How many lifetimes have you been with me? What is your job with me? In other words, what is your goal? So sometimes guides will be to protect you. Sometimes they are to teach you to have more fun, believe it or not, to take life less seriously. Sometimes some guides are here to help you be more creative. Sometimes some guides are here to help you speak publicly. There are different guides who are here for different reasons. Sometimes they're here for protection, to protect you. So you can ask about that. You can even ask questions like, what is my life purpose? And then you write whatever comes up. And then you can even get more detailed and ask about certain situations in your life. Well, why did this happen? What was the value in this? What was the lesson in this? What role does this person play in my life? What is it that they're supposed to teach me? And again, this is about potentially opening yourself up to connecting to a guide. But also, I feel like it's an opportunity to tap into your higher self as well. So it can be a technique in addition to meditation of just they call it. It's not really automatic writing. That's a misnomer. Automatic writing is actually when a spirit will come through you and start writing, like using your hand to write. But it's a process where you're just writing whatever comes up, if that makes any sense. And that's Jean, that's something else that you can do on your own time to get this information. Okay?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And again, and and I just want to say that again, if anyone wants to reach me, I'm on Instagram at Medium Psychic Healer Pardis, P-A-R-D as in David, I as in Igloo, S as in Sam, and you can always message me and ask me any more questions that you have there. Okay.
I was just going to say that because I'm at your Instagram right now, and that's another reason that I wanted to have you back on. I wanted to let the listeners know, go to what she just said, her Instagram handle is Medium Psychic Healer Pardis. It's amazing. You have so many posts on here that can help people get into their meditation. I was reading a few and just kind of get your mindset. Just reading a few of your posts gets you in the right mindset to get into a meditation easier, because it's not so easy, is it? It's not that easy.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
I love your posts. Your posts are amazing.
Oh, I'm so glad.
And your stories.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I love doing the stories because they tend to be a little bit more spontaneous, and they allow me to be a little bit more personal. And I love to share more parts of myself, not just the metaphysical part, but also my love for music. I just actually went to an art exhibit last night here in Manhattan, which is very interesting. It was an Iraqi artist who combines modern art with feminine paradigms, and I can go on about that. But the bottom line is that I share other things as well, to let people know I'm more than just a healer. I do other things, and I have a full life.
I can imagine
thank you,
in Manhattan. You are welcome. Wow, I know who I'm visiting when I go to Manhattan. Wow.
Yeah.
But also going to places like that, like museums. Priscilla, my daughter, and I we were shopping, back to school shopping the other day, and there was a beautiful museum here. And we went in there, and it's just nice to kind of take a moment, enjoy life, go in there, look at art. It's just fill your soul up. Just fill yourself up, and you take some time for yourself like that. It's so very important. Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm doing tomorrow? I just moved to Huntington Beach. It's been a few months, but I'm finally going to do this. I've been wanting to. There is a beach yoga tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm going to do it.
Oh, lovely. Cool. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
And with the mindset
Wonderful.
of trying to, tune in, and now that we've had you on, this gives me, I'm even more excited and inspired to go. I used to do yoga all the time, and I just kind of got out of it with the big move and everything. So it's time to get back into that. And
wonderful.
It's fun too. I have never had my body change more with any other exercise. And I was a major competitive ballroom dancer for years, so I had to do a lot of forms of exercise. And I mean, I did spinning, weightlifting, everything. Yoga transforms my body more than any exercise. So why not do that and fix my mind and relax? And I mean, it's just like such a well-rounded not a jerking, pounding kind of exercise, I highly recommend yoga for anybody who wants to be well-rounded.
And as a matter of fact, yoga is the preparation for meditation. So sometimes when I do these events, I actually buddy up, and I do these events with a yoga teacher. So what'll happen is the yoga teacher will go first. They'll do their part. They'll teach like a short class, and then I will take over in Shavasana and lead them into a journeying meditation. But, the beautiful thing about yoga, too, is that it helps. They say it clears your chakras, it clears your energy. And if you are a sensitive person and if you are an intuitive person, I noticed this once I got into healing work and I became more sensitive energetically, it became so much easier to gain weight. And what I found was that by doing yoga or meditating helped me lose the weight, because both actually help shift and clear energy that isn't yours. Because if you're taking on energy that doesn't belong to you, guess what? Your body's going to want to protect itself. And then to protect itself, it's going to say, you know what? I'm not letting go of this weight. I got to create more of a boundary or a barrier between me and the world. And so, as a matter of fact, there's a saying amongst healers about healer belly. It's like, because the solar plexus is like just a few inches above the belly button, and that's your belly. The solar plexus is your power center, right? So it's where your confidence lies. It's where your strength lies. And if in any way it feels energetically threatened, a lot of times it'll bulk up. So when you do meditation,
I was going to say something about that. There was what? Oh, well, the other day, we were just talking about this very thing on the show, and it was about Kelly, and Kelly sometimes, we love her and she loves us, and she loves us so much that she's willing to do our chakras even when she's sick. And we kind of had to talk to her and say, Kelly, it's okay. I know you love helping us out, but this isn't a slave ship. Nobody's going to get you in a headlock and make you do it. Do it when you feel well.
Yeah, she's taking on so many people's emotions.
Yeah, thank you, but that makes so much sense now. It's like, my God, ever since I became like super sensitive, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like I got like, I'm not saying like in the past year, but I'm like saying like ever since I like started like major ascension like a few years back, it's like been near impossible to get rid of it. So now I'm starting to try to figure out, okay, how can I just really super ground myself, get rid of this weight, not look at it as protection, and just get rid of it for good, and not take on everybody's stuff.
Yeah. I have to tell you that after I had my son, I couldn't get rid of the weight until I started to meditate. And I actually, I was just stuck at this one number, and I started to meditate an hour a day. And that's when it started to shift. And then I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't been doing it lately. So the weight has been creeping back. And now I'm going, oh my gosh, I do meditate, but I haven't been doing the hour. So I'm starting to realize, you know what, I have to get back on it again, because that's, for me, I know that makes a difference. I mean, I also do work out, but I have to always add in the meditation component for myself, because I'm working so much on people's auric fields, and I'm working with energy so much. So it's essential. So the key I feel is that this, doing the soul work for yourself and finding out what works for you really makes a huge difference.
And then adding the yoga to it, Kelly. This could be your answer right here.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I used to do something by Greer Childers, where you would do like the isometric and isotonic with the yoga, and then doing like the breathing. It was like the deep breathing, then you'd hold it, you'd expel it, you'd hold, and you'd go through the yoga poses, so that you're basically oxygen starved, but you're doing the yoga, so you're like burning, extra calories because it's like going right to the isolating that muscle group. So you're so that's what I was doing. Oh my gosh, I did that before my wedding in 2000.
Yeah.
I was getting ripped so fast.
Wow.
And I forgot what they called it, but it was on a VHS tape. But I still remember a lot of the breathing exercises and the moves, and it looked like totally ridiculous, especially the facial exercises. But, darn if they didn't work, and they worked fast.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to get on that.
There are some people that also swear that like Kundalini yoga. I have to tell you, years ago, I tried it, and I must admit, I was with a girlfriend of mine, and we were laughing. It wasn't a very mature moment in my life, and we were laughing because of all the different positions and the funny arms flapping and legs in the air, and I was like, "What is this?" It's powerful. It's very powerful, and it's transformative. So, so all of this stuff, meditating, movement, breath work, all of it really, really helps and makes a huge difference so that you can go in and access to a guide or an archangel, or more so your own higher self.
I'm sure we can find all of that on YouTube, all of those kind of exercises. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Also, too, it's a bunch of apps. I just found 2 new yoga apps that I found out about because I'm finding out that if I can exercise from my home or in a hotel room when I'm traveling for work, it's just a lot easier for me. Or, if I rent an Airbnb or whatnot. So the more I can find that I can do on an iPad or a laptop on the phone, it's much better. So I just want to thank you all for having me this evening. I had such a wonderful, wonderful time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we love having you
so much. Yeah, thank you.
This has been so informative and fun and inspiring.
Oh, well, I would love that. So just let me know when, and we'll make it happen. Okay?
Great. Thank you, Pardis.
Thank you.
Thank you. And subscribe to our channel too, Pardis, on Life, Laughter, Happiness YouTube, where we have our over 180 shows on there now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Actually, about 197.
197 now. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
200.
And it's called what again? Life
After Happiness.
Life After Happiness. Beautiful. I'm going to look it up. Well, I'm really wonderful. I'm so proud to be a part of this, and Jonathan, I texted you the playlist, so please let me know how your meditation goes.
Okay.
Kelly, I'd love to hear how you're doing, and Barbara, we're in touch on Insta, so
yes.
It's been an exciting time. We're all going to take off like rockets at our own pace.
Yeah, very inspiring.
All right, wonderful. Yeah. Take care, bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddies. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.